SHAREfactory and Boo Speed Force here, and today we are going to learn how to play with Johnny Cage, specifically stunt double. So we're going to be showing you some basic strings, combos, and strategies. We're going to show you some pretty cool setups with him. So without further ado, here we go. Alright, so real quick, we're going to be talking about your basic strings, and we're going to go for the most important ones first. So basically, with Johnny Cage, you got your 4-2-4, or the 4-2-4-4 to continue it. You got the 1-1-3, just go 1-1, or just a standard 1. You got the 2-1, 2-1-4, back 3-4-3. You have the 1-1-4. We got the 1-2-1, and I think those are pretty much main strings. Your down 4 is going to be very important with Johnny Cage. Also your sweep. So basically, all those strings have their own advantages, and to use them in different situations. So now we're going to go into the importance of specific strings. Of course, I'm going to go into the 1-1-3. It's got a low hit at the third hit, which is very, very important, because this also sets up for his scrubby mix-up game, because Johnny Cage really only has a true overhead starter. He doesn't have a true low starter. So basically, what a strategy you can do is the scrubby mix-up, which is do a 1-1, which the recovery is very, very quick. So you can 1-1 and go for the overhead. Or if they suspect the overhead, you can just follow up with the 1-1-3, and the last hit is a low. So there's specific setups you can do using this sort of fake. So now, also, another very important move is his forward 3. This move is very good for spacing, and it is also good for setting up frame traps and some other setups. Okay, now we're going to go into his special moves. So basically, we got the nut punch, which is back down 3. Down back 2 is his orb, and both of those can be meter burn. There's meter burn versions for both. And then we have the shadow kick. We have this move, which is pretty good for an anti-air. And then we have his mimic setups, which is down back 4. And then you can do a shadow kick with a mimic. You can do the rising move with the mimic. A combination of these specials and combos are going to give you some pretty big combos, pretty good damage, and this variation with Johnny Cage is actually the only one that can have any sort of true zoning tools, where these by themselves are not enough to actually have a very effective zoning game, but once you add in the mimics, Johnny Cage can actually pull off some good spacing and control the match better, I feel, from across the stage. Alright, so basically I'm just going to show you some basic combos of Johnny Cage. So first I'm going to show you some without the mimics, and with the mimics, and the corner and mid-screen. So basically this is a pretty basic combo with Johnny Cage. So those are some basic combo strings. Those are going to be the most prominent ones that you're going to be using in mid-screen. So in the corner, I'm not going to show you every single combo you have, just to give you an idea how to set certain ones up. can also leave them standing and give you the advantage again with using meat burn green balls that you throw. But that's fine, I got it. Now we're going to show you some combos with the mimics out. Get so many hits in there. Alright, so now we're going to go into Johnny Cage's setups and frame traps. So basically, Johnny Cage has a lot of frame traps, but these frame traps also, there's holes in them for armor. So basically, it comes down to reading your opponent and when to applying pressure and when to bait out a wake up. There are also certain things and strategies you can use to keep your opponent from waking up when you're trying to set up a frame trap, but that's just all about reading the opponent, and if they guess exactly what you're going to do, then they're just going to armor right through your frame traps. But basically, here's just the basic setup for a frame trap with Johnny Cage. So you have different tools that you can use. Basically, you can do like a rising knee, and cancel into mimic. And once you cancel a mimic, you can send a kick. Your opponent cannot stop you from doing this. It is a frame trap. So then after that, basically you can do the same thing. You do the same string, do that. So that in itself is a frame trap. You can extend the frame trap by basically using the EX green orbs. So you basically go. Your opponent has to block that if he does not have armor. If he has armor, he does not have to respect that, because he can armor through anytime you throw out the kick, or he can also do it when you're throwing the green orbs. That's later on we'll talk about, you know, making a read and actually baiting out your opponent for a punish while you're basically you're baiting them by setting up the frame trap, but using different strategies to make them wake up and you blocking and punishing. But we'll get to that later. As you can see, as I'm setting up the frame trap, he can actually just armor right through it. Kung Lao is a good example because he's got a very quick startup on his reversal. But basically, there's other strategies and everything. There's a lot of strategies you can do to avoid just setting up a reversal on you. Basically, your opponents are usually going to block high against Johnny Cage. It's actually the smart thing to do. Johnny Cage does not have a low starter. You can take advantage of this by setting up frame traps, by actually pulling out your mimic frame traps setups by connecting a down 4. So, see, this down 4 puts them on stagger, and you can actually throw out a mimic. It'll give you a mimic setup so you can exchange your combos and also provide you with future pressure and frame traps, but you won't get punished for it most of the time, because most of the time your opponent isn't going to be blocking this down 4. It wouldn't be smart for them to do it. So basically, go like that. See how he staggered? If he woke up at that time or did a reverse wake up, he would be punished, because I would be blocking at this point, and then I would just punish him with this. So basically, this is where the mind game comes in baiting a wake up with Johnny Cage, is basically faking the frame trap setup, letting them burn through their armor and punishing them, and that's just going to create a whole world of hurt for them, because they're going to waste a meter, and they're going to get into a nut punch standing reset, and they're going to be taking damage from them. So, well, I'm sorry, you'll be inflicting damage upon your opponent. I said that wrong. My apologies. Next, I'm going to show you some strings and some strategies to do some reversal setups. So basically, we have different strings that are good for reversal setups. This is a very good reversal setup. Just doing that string, and then that's a good reversal setup. This is also, after that, is a very good reversal setup. So basically, these are recognized strings to where most opponents will have the automatic assumption that they can hit you right after. But Johnny Cage's nut punch is a very, very quick startup time when you enhance it. And these strings basically have a good recovery time. This one, not so much, but that's where it comes in, where a lot of Johnny Cage players will throw that string out. Once they realize you didn't throw out that last kick, they're going to want to attack, and that's where your EX nut punch comes in. But other than that, this string also, when they block, a lot of opponents will try to hit you back. So I'm going to have Fuse try to just low poke me after I do this attack. Then he's at a standing reset again. So also this string too. And again, a blocking high opponent, which somebody smart against Johnny Cage will do. You basically reverse him with that. So I'm going to have Fuse poke me after that. Another setup that's actually not as I don't find it as successful, but especially against a really aggressive forward-moving opponent, this is a very cool string to use. I'm going to have Fuse block high. And I'm going to use that string. Basically, after that string, an opponent who wants to jump forward or advance is a good spacing move to pull off Johnny Cage's neutral. It's quick, and it's more of a string that you use on a read. Alright, so now we're going to combine all of these strategies so far and show you some setups that you will be using as a Johnny Cage player using Stunt Double. The basic idea is to keep applying pressure, use frame traps and reversal setups, and mix up the game and just combining all that together into making your opponent guess wrong, and then getting him some huge damage, and of course ending in the standing reset. I would suggest always standing in the standing nut punch reset, unless you have a huge life lead and you're just going to chip him out by zoning. But even then, that's very, very rare, and I still would rather end each combo in the standing reset with his nut punch. I think it's really smart, and I think it's the basically overall main strategy Johnny Cage player wants to use. Another neat little trick with Johnny Cage is that you can actually anti-air somebody and reverse them in the corner. So we're going to have Fuse jump towards me real quick. So far, that's the end of our tech video with Johnny Cage Stunt Double. There are some setups I'm probably not thinking of at the right top of my head, but that just gives you a general idea of the overall strategy that you need to take, that I believe that you need to take with Johnny Cage. I've been pretty successful with him so far, and I really like him. He's a good character. You should give him a try. Try some of these strategies out.